How to cope being single. Today I want to talk a little bit about learning to cope when suddenly you find yourself single again. This situation can be quite overwhelming for people when they've been in, for example, partnerships or relationships for what can be for some people a lifetime, but I myself was in one for 18 years and suddenly found myself single, and it was quite overwhelming. So I definitely think this is a subject that people need to kind of start to get their head around, because when you're suddenly thrown into being single again, it can be quite a daunting experience. I know myself, in the very first 6 months, I was very self-conscious of going out. I was actually embarrassed and ashamed that my marriage didn't work. I was very self-conscious talking to people. Down at football, I wouldn't talk to people's husbands because I thought that their wives might think I was trying to crack onto them. It was a very, very bizarre experience to me. Even though people knew who I was and these sort of things, it still was how my mind was thinking and playing everything out in my own mind. I felt very, very different and very isolated in being single, because a lot of your friends as well are usually married and have families, so you tend to respect that, and so you do tend to hide yourself away. But being single isn't something to be ashamed of. Looking back now, it's been nearly 2 years now, and I look back and I've sort of got to the point now where I'm actually starting to venture out, and I'm starting to actually expand myself and go out and have a few drinks with the girls at the pub and try and meet people. And I'm also just chatting to people in general down the street, or if I'm queued up in a line, I'll start to talk to people, because it's in that practicing that you get your skills back up and you start to build that confidence back up in yourself. Because what people have to also realize is when people do find themselves single, there's often a grieving process that sort of gets squashed away and hidden, because it's a lot of grief comes up when you've actually separated from somebody. I mean, I myself have a very good rapport with my ex-husband. I'm very fortunate, but there's still a grieving process that we have both gone through, and that's not been easy either. So only time will heal those wounds. You're still grieving the loss of what began as a really wonderful and fantastic marriage, and slowly these things can deteriorate over time. But being single doesn't have to feel embarrassing, and you don't have to carry shame around being single. These are things that just happen to people, and it's just circumstance that can often lead you to these situations. I think I can only really give you the perspective as a woman, but I think for men it's a little different. They can kind of go to the bar and have a drink and do a few more things on their own, but as a woman I always know myself. I look for my girlfriends or my team around me to kind of go out with, and just to keep me propped up and help me rebuild that confidence again. So being single can be challenging. Nobody's saying that it's an easy road, but also it's important as part of the process to helping with all the grief and all the healing of the wounds, I guess, to a degree, because you get to find yourself again, and you get to sort of start to look at the directions and the way you want to go with the next sort of chapters of your life, really. So yeah, being single can be a little bit challenging. You always sort of feel the odd one out, but you just got to know too that sometimes this isn't forever. It can be just a temporary phase before you're sort of ready and prepare yourself to accept into your life the next new beautiful relationship. So don't close off when you're single, and just accept that it's just where you're at the time, and it's okay to be single, and try not to carry those feelings of shame and embarrassment, and try and work through those things and start to look at things as it's just the process of life that's just taking you to somewhere else and where you need to go for your next chapter of the journey. So yeah, don't be scared of being single, and just learn to cope. When you are single, do the things like get fit and get healthy and make your mind feel good and strong. And then, these are the things that'll actually help you to meet people too, because you'll get more confident and you'll start to really reach out to other people as well. And people will sense that energy in you too, and that's what becomes quite attractive as well. But if you need to get on dating sites and things to kind of meet people and have conversations and interact with people, they're really good options that are available today as well. So you don't have to just sit at home and wait for someone to sort of come knocking on your door, because it's pretty unlikely that that's going to happen. So you've also got to be proactive when you are single. If you're wanting to try and create relationships and build good bonds with people, you've also got to find that strength inside you to actually reach out to people as well. Bye.